It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's sourdough. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. How are you doing? How's your life? What are you up to? Are you feeling like you should be getting fatter now that you don't have to put on your bathing suit? Are you feeling like you should just be enjoying yourself for once? Or do you feel like you got to dial it in because the holidays are coming? Well, you're going to enjoy this conversation today. We have the great Robert Kelly, great comedian, a dear friend of mine from New York. We came up the same time in New York. He's so damn funny. But today is pretty unique because he has a very interesting, very cool, very inspiring diet, lifestyle story to tell. When I met him, he was a young buck, and he was this thin, good-looking guy who all the girls were going crazy for. And we've known each other for 20 years, and he's been up and down with his weight, and he got really kind of maxed out on his weight. And I saw him when I was doing my live Come to Papa a couple weeks ago in New York, and he dropped a whole bunch of weight, and you could tell he was starting to dial it in. And I don't want to give away too much of the conversation. Just know that it's inspiring, and he is a delight, and you're going to absolutely love it and him. He was on the podcast during the pandemic, I believe, in the early days, but this is a really good one. And check out his podcasts. I think he runs a whole podcast network. Actually, he's a very prolific guy. Hold on, let me give you a proper plug here. Robert Kelly podcast. I know I shouldn't be looking this up while I'm talking to you, but this is the way it goes sometimes. Robert Kelly podcast. Doobie doobie doo. Robert Kelly's You Know What, Dude podcast. You know what, dude? It's a great podcast. And you'll see if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching it wherever, his lighting is impeccable. He's got probably the best lighting in podcasting. Very inspiring. Hey, I have a bunch of shows coming up. I am coming to Texas. I've got San Antonio, and I've got Houston. And then the following weekend, I'm coming to Dallas. I'm also coming to Albany at the Egg. Always wanted to play that spot. Then I'm going to, in the same weekend in November, going to the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank, New Jersey. Also, another show that I haven't spoken about, which is I'm going to Revolution Hall in Portland. That's a great place. I think it's my return. I think I've been there before. I hate this earpiece. It keeps falling out. So I'm going up to Portland, one of the good places on the planet, and I'll be playing Revolution Hall. So a bunch of dates. Go to tompapa.com, look up all of that good stuff, and we'll keep it coming. Thank you also for listening to this podcast. It is a joy to do, and it keeps spreading, and I appreciate it, and I thank you all for being a part of it. That I don't feel like I say that enough. If I could deliver bread to your house, I would. Does that count? I just did literally today. It will have aired already, or maybe I'll put it up on social media. I literally just came from Access Hollywood with the great Mario Lopez, where they wanted to feature our podcast and our bread baking. So it was it was actually very cool. I have to say, they did one of the best jobs of highlighting this whole bread crazy experience. We did a whole thing, and he's such a great host. He really is. I said to him, I know this is corny, but I know you must hear this all the time, but as a traveling comedian, you're the first face I see every time I check into a hotel, and he's doing the movie thing on the cables. And yeah, you could tell he had a little bit of a look in his eye, like, yeah, geez, yeah, I hear that all the time. But I truly look forward to it. You're alone out on the road, and then you could come in, and there he is again. All right, talking about movies, everything's going to be okay. So a big thank you to Access Hollywood. It was really great, and they really were shining a light on this podcast, and I was able to get a bread over to Mario that I had baked in the morning, and that guy's probably not eating a ton of bread. Let's be honest. Guy's dialed in shape. He's one of those guys like you hug him and give him a little pat, and he's sharp. He's sharp. He's like solid. But he also proclaimed with pure honesty that he loves bread. So yeah, so we'll add him to the community. Why not? Right? You guys like him. Well, let's put him in. These headphones are going to be thrown in the garbage. They keep flying out on the sides, and I start looking like the flying nun for anyone who's 100 years old and knows what that means. Maybe I just go down. Maybe that's the thing. Well, yeah, that's not so bad. Do you watch this on YouTube? I feel like nobody does. I feel like we are purely an audio podcast. It depends. Once in a while, we'll have a spike over there on the YouTubes, and our trusty, well, I guess I would call him a associate producer, Joey, is always posting stuff up on there. But I wonder how many people are actually watching. And if that's the case, why do I care about my earphones that are falling out? Just get to it. All right. I'm taking my own advice. Robert Kelly, you're going to love this conversation. He is a special, special person, super funny. He plugs his special. I'm not sure. It's going to be on, I believe, on Louis' channel. You'll be able to get that. He's super funny. He's one of the best comedians. But this today was, we were not planning this. We were not planning this intimate conversation about diet and his journey, but it just kind of happened that way, that the timing was perfect. And it just emerges naturally. And enough of me. Why don't you just listen to it and enjoy the great Robert Kelly?
Dawn went to the grocery store. There's a bunch of kids in my backyard on a trampoline.
Oh no.
Max is drinking Crystal Light out of a wine glass with his friend. So I don't know what stage of parenting this is. I don't know what's happening. This is a brand new stage of parenting that I'm just letting it. I'm just letting it go. I'm here working. I had my podcast. I had a meeting, a Zoom meeting, a podcast. Now this, and Dawn's just at the grocery. She just left. I don't know what's happening. So I'm just letting you know.
How old is he now?
9.
9. Yeah.
I feel like I'm entering the phase where it's like you have to have a god, where it's like, all right, man, I can't control if you die or not. It's not. It's up to the universe. It's up. You know what I mean? Like, just let it go. Like, God will. I understand at the end of the God's will, not mine, be done. That makes sense to me now.
I know. I remember Manny. For our listeners, Manny was the creator and the king of the Comedy Cellar. Mm-hmm. Manny Dorman, just the greatest guy, one of the greatest of the greats. And it's funny to think now he was talking about Noam, who runs the Comedy Cellar, but he back in the day was talking about when he was raising his son, that he's like, and I realized, should I be out late, doing stuff, and I'm running this crazy club, and I'm not sure, like, what woman I'm going to be with or what this is going to happen. And then I realized, whatever my fate is, it's his fate. So whatever happens, it's just going to happen. I can't really worry about it.
Now we all have to deal with his son, who can't even hold eye contact with you in a conversation. Literally gets bored of you in the first 5 seconds of talking. I gotta go. And he just walks away.
It's really true. It's like if you don't want to, and but that was similar to Manny, right? Like if you're not going to talk politics and something that's on their mind, they're not really interested. Remember when Manny used to give us newspapers from Israel, hoping that we would brush up on
No.
on the topic so he could talk about it the next night.
Well, I remember after September 11th, he went and just hired a bunch of Muslim comedians that like were working at the club before, but then they stopped working at the club. But then he brought them back because he wanted to debate them at the table.
Right.
I mean, one of the comedians, this is the week after September 11th. One of his jokes, he had a fake bomb under his chest, under his shirt, and pull it up. And it's like, I remember when he was Hood, you got to give him credit. He was like, yeah, I'll go on.
It was like Wile E. Coyote dynamite sticks strapped across his torso.
A week after September 11th. I mean, these were like they're beating up Indian guys in Brooklyn for a turban. They didn't even know a turban wasn't Muslim. And we all walked downstairs like, we got to see this. And it killed.
Would kill.
It killed. It killed. Everybody laughed at it, but he would get into arguments.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one time I never talked, of course, because I'm not in the realm.
Up on the politics.
I'm not. Thank you. Yeah, that's a very beautiful way of saying dumber than the rest of the people at the table. You have class, Papa. That's why I like you. You got class.
I know how to say things.
So I remember he was talking about something, and I said, "Well, that's Israel bombed. I believe it was
Lebanon.
No, it was Iraq. They bombed their nuclear. They had a facility and they bombed it.
Right.
Told them the whole story about it. They came in and they knew that at certain times the shift was off and the radar, and they came in and did it this one time, and they came in and they bombed it and they went out and blah blah. And he was like, "That's not true." And he, like in front of everybody, he said, "You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. That's not true." And I was like, I believe that's true. I mean, like, I never talk about this. And I told him all this stuff. And then I was absolutely right. He went home and he called me up. He goes, "I just want to let you know, I apologize. You were right."
Oh, nice.
And I go, "What about saying that at the table tomorrow?" He goes, "That will never happen." Okay. But I will do it right now on the phone to your face.
But in front of everybody else, you're going to have to eat shit.
He got so mad at me. I remember when I was hosting at New Year's for the first time, and he called me up at 4:00 on New Year's Day. All right, I'm downstairs from your apartment. I'm like, "How'd you get my address?" Right?
Yeah.
He's down. I got, "Come down. We got to go to do rehearsal." I'm like, "For what?" "I'm not rehearsing my comedy." He goes, No, you got to do the show that you're hosting. You got to do it right. You got to learn you have to sing Old Anxiety or whatever. I was like, okay. Cause I'm still new.
Yeah.
But I'm in the car with him and there's a little Lexus and we're driving down and we get there and he puts me on stage and he hands me the music. He goes, "Nobody knows the words to this song. Everybody just mumbles it. They get to a certain point and they mumble. They don't know the words. We're going to sing it right. We're going to do it the right way." So he goes, "All right, let's go." And he plays the music. He goes, the thing comes down. He has all choreographed. The curtain comes down and it says, 3, 2, 1. All right, now start. And I'm reading like, "An old acquaintance." He goes, "No, sing it." And I'm like, "Nobody sings it. We hum it." And he's like, "You're going to sing it. We're going to change it. Everybody's going to." So I go, "Let all the acquaintance." He goes, "What is?" "No, an E. You got to do it in the E."
Oh, no.
And I'm like, "Oh, no, E. I'm like, "Oh, these, what?" He gets on the piano, E, starts banging the keys, E. And I'm like, I don't sing. I do comedy. He's like, E. I'm like, "Let all these," and he ran upstairs. He's like, "Oh, you couldn't carry a tune if it had a handle." And he just ran upstairs and he left. So legit.
It's so funny because this is literally at the Comedy Cellar where there's 150 seats. The stage is as big as a matchbox. There's like this isn't Carnegie Hall.
Sing. That was terrible. It was so bad. I was so scared that night. I got the piece of paper and I'm like, "Let all." Then you see him in the doorway. He says, he's like, "No." He just walked away.
Oh, he was the greatest.
He
He
was a,
was so great. And
he
he would
killed,
drink scotch and
yeah,
debate all night long. He'd be drinking his scotch and he would be debating everybody. And funnier than all the comics was the
oh,
craziest part. He was just so quick. I
yeah.
mean, this was, Geraldo and DePaulo and Colin. And I mean, it was just Norton. He was so much funnier, but he would be so into debating and so into drinking. And then he'd offer you a ride home.
Yeah.
And we'd all sit in his car and he would be going 10 miles an hour drunk up 6th Avenue.
It was getting a ride home from Manny is when I knew I made it.
Right.
When I knew I'm doing it. I
I'm
got
on the, I mean, I'm in with the cool kids.
Yeah, I remember he was like, he'd say to me, "You want to ride home, kid?" Because I was up on the west side,
Yeah.
and uh, and I was like, "Yeah." We got in the car, and it was like, I don't know, it was great. I remember I was talking to him about I was thinking of asking Dawn to marry me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about getting married," and I thought and he was like, "Don't do that." What? He's like, "Don't get married. Why would you get married? You live a life. You're in New York. You're working clubs. You're doing comedy. What are you going to ruin it with a marriage? Don't get married." I was like, this is not the advice I thought you were going to give me.
That's so funny because Esty, who books the whole Comedy Cellar,
Queen.
the queen of the Comedy Cellar, she said the same thing to Cynthia when I was asked
She was
Cynthia to
right.
marry
She
me.
was absolutely right. That was because of you. That wasn't like, don't get married ever. Don't marry you. She was absolutely right. She was 100% right.
Why are you going to do that? Why would you marry him? Why are you getting married? Don't do that. They just wanted us all to be free, and they
Uh,
knew the troubles that would come if you were married. Then you'd have a child.
oh my God. I don't even know whether 15 kids just disappeared. I feel like something's coming. Like a van just pulled up and took them all away. I don't know what happened. It
They're
was,
in the house. They're in the house
oh,
mixing cocktails. Why is he home?
what are you talking about? It's just Jewish holiday.
Oh, I thought that was yesterday.
Yesterday and today.
Oh, 2 days off.
2 days off. Yeah.
Wow.
You really benefit from the Jewish people. God bless them.
Yeah, God bless them. My kids go to an Episcopal school, but it's most of the kids are Jewish. It's just like Christian in name and tax break only.
LA.
And so they get one day.
Why isn't there no Jewish school? Why is there no like Catholics have it? Christians, Episcopals always have schools, but the Jews, I guess
Yeah.
school is just a college.
Yeah. Oh man. So how you been, man? I really miss you. We've been kind of running and I just saw you for like a split second when I was doing the show last week, and you look like you're dropping weight intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not dying.
Are you sick?
Are you asking me if I have AIDS, cancer?
So, Bobby, how's you been sleeping with any strangers lately?
No, I'm doing good, Tom. Things are good. I got 6 months, but I lost a lot of weight, so I can walk with my family. We're gonna enjoy the last 6 months. No, yeah.
Well, what happened? You kind of did it secretly. All of a sudden, you showed up, and it was like, oh, how much did you drop?
I mean, no, I don't know if it's secretly because you haven't been around. It's like I've been away.
Yeah, but I
And
FaceTime.
I was
Yeah.
away. Too. I was away. I went up to the tiny house for the summer.
Did you go away or did you go to a fat camp?
Dude, I can't afford a fat camp. I have a 9-year-old. I can't leave Dawn. I can't leave that.
Right.
No, that's the thing. I can't go. Like Colin, I remember went to a fat camp.
He did?
Yeah. Oh shit. Maybe I should have said
Wait a minute. When?
years ago. Not for a while. I think Artie Lang did. There is that thing, but it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Camp. And I have a 9-year-old. I can't go. Where are you going, Dad? Why are you leaving me? Oh, I'm going to a fat camp. I mean, that would devastate for life. Yeah, I remember
that would be so funny if he could just see pictures of you canoeing and archery and roasting marshmallows while he's at home.
Fat people would have to rowboat. We really can't canoe.
Right. Yeah. And they probably wouldn't give you marshmallows either.
There's no marshmallows. I don't know what fat camp would be, but I know that I'd be hiding stuff under my pillow like that fat kid in Monster Ball. Uh, no, I am eating right.
What happened? Did your doctor say you need to lose weight?
I was I was I was on the way out, dude.
You were?
Yeah, I mean, not immediately, but I was playing that Russian roulette,
Uh-huh.
where my feet, pre-diabetic, heart rate, liver.
Uh-huh.
It was like being an alcoholic. I mean,
Right.
people don't know that food does the same thing to your body that alcohol does. I had a fatty liver, same as alcohol.
Wow.
I was just too big.
Because I
And
remember you were big, you were big for a bit, and I kept asking, is everything like you get checkups? And for a while you were getting physicals and everything was cool.
I got physicals every year, but the thing with food addiction, with being a fatty, um, unlike everything else, like one of the things that people say to me now is like, "Dude, you look great. We were really worried about you."
Uh-huh.
Well, thanks for helping. Thanks for telling me you were worried about me. Thanks,
Right.
thanks for talking behind my back while I was at the table next to you. You know what I mean? If I was a heroin addict, they would do an intervention at a Holiday Inn Express.
Right.
People would intervene and try to help me. But when you're fat, they just be like, no, he's gonna die.
Oh, not good. Not good.
Not good. Have you seen
Getting
Bob?
too big. He's getting
Yeah.
too big. But I would ask from time to time how your how your physical condition was. Like
Yeah.
I wanted the doctor's review. And for a while it sounded like the numbers were okay.
Well, you don't know. My numbers were okay. I would always get a checkup every year, but
Yeah.
it's, that those are deceiving, because only I knew what was going on inside of me. Only I knew that my feet tingled when I went to bed. I couldn't wear socks to sleep. Only I knew when I went on the plane, I had to, pretty much put a tourniquet on my stomach to do the seatbelt because I refused to ask for the extension. Only I knew that I couldn't, my knee was giving out and my bones were aching. Only I knew that I had acid reflux. Only I knew I would throw up in my mouth at night because I ate too much.
Right. Right.
These are the things that, you don't really tell people, and you don't want to tell people, and when you're fat, like fat people, we can even get into clothes that we're not supposed to get into, and they stretch out to fit to where you feel comfortable in those jeans or that shirt. Like I have these shirts, the 2X. I went from large to an XL to a 2X, but then the 2X, I would lift my hands up, my stomach would come out, so I got a 2XT. So it would be long and tall, so it would fit me. So my stomach would pop up. So you adapt. It's really weird how people with food addictions adapt and are able to fly, travel, live life, do all the things everybody else is doing. And then one day they grab their chest.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we knew that was coming. And it's like, well, okay, I'm not, this is all happening. I know it's going to happen, and I got to do something about it.
Good for you.
I love, it's like I'm looking at my kid. I'm like, I can't be, and then plus all my fat barometers are dead. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean the other people?
When you're fat, you always look, well, as long as I'm not as fat as Ralphie May.
Right.
As long as I'm not as fat as John Panette. I became the fattest guy in comedy.
Right.
I was.
Yeah.
And,
you got a lot of really funny jokes about it. We could just circle back for a second, because I think one of the most disturbing things that you mentioned was wearing socks to bed. Why would you wear socks to bed?
Well, in case somebody breaks in.
And then you get up and slip?
I get up and slide. I slide right up to that motherfucker. Not in this house, bitch. And then I slide away.
I could never wear socks to bed. My feet would be yelling at me the whole time. Get him off, get him off.
I know. I wear socks on my feet. First of all, my wife likes the house at 4 below zero. Okay. So I wear a hat to bed. I wear hoodies to bed.
Do you really?
Buddy, we were in the tiny house this year, and we have heat in it. There's heat, AC, everything in this thing.
Wow.
She'd have like the the mountain air just shooting through the windows. I would have a hoodie and a hat on in the middle of the night because she likes to get up. I'm like, you heat miser. I just went into debt to put this sucker to get a toilet and water and everything on this thing. And now I'm sitting like I'm camping. I should have just put a tent on the fucking land and called it a day.
I love the tiny house. I love that you're the biggest guy in comedy and living in a tiny house. Maybe that was the thing that really got you. Maybe you were like, I want to.
It was
I want to fit in this house.
When does this come out, by the way?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. No, the tiny house for me, it was it was something that in the pandemic, we lost, I lost a lot of stuff. I was really in a dire straits. I mean, look,
money wise.
Well, it was the first year of my comedy career where my agent called me up a month before and said, buddy, you booked for the year. So anything else that comes in is gravy, but you're done. I don't need to book you anymore.
Wow.
I didn't have to worry about, I knew where I was going. I was going to the clubs I liked, doing shows that I wanted.
Yeah.
We had Creeps with Kids tour. That was, we had, I think a bunch of dates and we're getting more dates and we were going to go to the West, all this. It was the first time where it was like, I'm there.
Yeah.
Doing theaters. I'm doing only clubs I like. I'm doing rock and roll venues. It's all mix of stuff that I love. I'm making money and we were great. And then in one night, he's like, they're all gone. And I was like, what? He goes, all the shows are gone. We had to cancel everything.
God.
Yeah, wild.
Crazy.
That
was insane. We were so impenetrable. Like comedians, even if the economy tanked, you would still have had those dates.
I had no idea I was unessential.
Right. Exactly.
I was very essential.
So essential.
I became very essential.
So you started thinking tiny house in case I have to escape?
No. Well, that was a factor, but after the thing that I said, I had to get my life together.
Yeah.
Because I was living on this, as long as this is okay, I'm okay.
Right.
Then when that was taken away, I realized I wasn't okay. I was gripping the wheel, doing my thing. So I had to go get my life together, like mentally, spiritually. I went and I just focused on what's important and being grateful and trying to get my, where I could wake up and the thing, I was okay with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I had all the, I got to be there. I got to have what he has and she's got and all,
Yeah. It's a nonstop thing. I noticed that when it went down, when the pandemic shut everything down, there were a lot of comics who just, I think everybody, and to some degree actually, just had relief that the game, we got off the track for a minute, because you're constantly having to analyze yourself and where you're at and where you're going. And it's a nonstop thing. It's almost like the way that people worry about a company, the way that like the CEO worries about Starbucks. Yeah. We worry about that. Starbucks is us.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when it went down, there was like that thing of like, oh, I don't have to see people selling out arenas for a second. Oh, I don't have to see someone getting a TV show for a second. It was, there was like this mental, like, okay, we're allowed to catch our breath here for a beat.
Yeah. And you're allowed to be with your family for a minute. You're allowed to actually get to know your kid and your wife and enjoy a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird that first Friday and Saturday night for that couple months where it's like, I'm home on a Saturday.
I know. I remember during Halloween being like, oh, I'm home this whole month, the whole season. We're doing Halloween fun things.
Yeah.
Every night.
But it was weird for me because I have rich friends.
Right.
That was like, hey man, I was like, how are you? I'm like, it's bad. I'm scared financially. And he's like, yeah, we're all in the same boat. I'm like, you have a boat?
Yeah.
I have a 3-bedroom ranch. I don't have a basement. So it's like some people like, hey man, I got a break, but I also
Yeah.
have money to last for 10 years.
Right.
Other people like me, I was like, I had to find other ways to make money, but I also had to get my stuff together. So I started going really taking care of myself, meditating, went back to, I'm sober. I went really back into meetings and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, why am I waiting? Like, cause I always say, I'm going to wait. When I get this, I'll buy this.
Right.
When I get to this point of success, and the one thing this thing made me realize is I'm successful right now.
That's right.
What are you talking? You're there. You're a working comedian.
Yeah, you did it.
The bills. You work at the greatest club in the world. You're friends with the funniest people in the world. And I'm like, I'm not waiting. We always wanted to buy land in New Hampshire because we've always been a guest. We've always went up there and stayed with people,
Right.
And I said, Don, let's just do it. Go buy land. Let's do it now when we shouldn't do it.
Right. That's great.
Let's do it when we shouldn't do it. And we went, I called this, I went on Instagram, Tiny Homes of Maine. We drove 8 hours up and went to their house and they took us in for the day. And we went riding on their property, which is an old Christmas tree farm. And they were the nicest family in the world. And
oh my God.
we went to dinner and then we wound up buying the tiny homes that they were staying in on their land they were
in Maine.
In Maine. We literally made the deal on the way home. I called them up and we made a deal and they accepted it and we got it. And then we had to go. We didn't have land yet. We went and bought land after that.
This was just the house.
We went down to New Hampshire from their house to New Hampshire on the street that we wanted to be on. And there was a lot. And then we bought the lot, like, a little time after that.
Wow. Good for you.
And then it took a long time to put the house, get the land, more money, blah, blah, blah. But it was worth it. Because, I have debt. I'm paying all the stuff, but we're coming out of this pandemic now. And this summer, we spent the whole summer in New Hampshire, in the tiny house on this 2.5 acres of land. And it was the best summer we've ever had. Max was in camp, but in the woods. He was hiking, kayaking, canoeing. He did a sleepover on an island. He's doing all this. We're shooting pellet guns and we're going into the woods. We camped out on the land in a tent. He's doing all this shit that I wish I did as a kid.
Yeah.
He's doing it. And look, I see if you get a tiny house, the only thing I say, you have to love your family. You can't like your wife and love your kid or like your kid, love your wife. You have to love being together. And you can't have sex upstairs in the sleeping lofts.
No.
You have to wait till the kids at camp and have sex downstairs on the couch. Sex is you have to figure it out. It's a math problem,
Yeah. It's sexual Jenga.
Yeah, you have to let's go in the woods and we'll bring a towel and we'll fuck on a stone or some type of glue. Because
how would you cook?
We have a kitchen. We have a full kitchen.
Really?
We have a kitchen, a regular sized fridge. We have a full shower, bathroom. We have we have our own well. We have our own septic tank. I have a septic system for 4 bedrooms. So if we ever want to take this off and make a house there someday, we can do that too. But you find out that when you're in a tiny house, you don't need all the space. All those books that you already read, get rid of them. That's it. Oh, look, I'm smart. We get it. We get your read books. What are you going to read them again? You're going back to, hey, I just want to read this chapter. Fuck off. It's you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
All the bullshit that you have.
Yeah.
It's gone. And you wake up in the morning, you have your little breakfast. We have a kitchen table and, we actually have a living room area with a couch that all 3 of us fit on. And we have a 55-inch plasma. We don't have cable, but we have internet. So at night we'll watch like Netflix or whatever, or Amazon. We really don't even really watch TV because we're doing stuff outside.
Right.
So we cook outside. We have the fire pit right on the woods and you're sitting there and you hear stuff in the woods and it's something, it's not nothing. When we have a fire here in Westchester, it's a squirrel. I'd be the Jewish temple behind us. You know what I mean?
Right. A raccoon maybe is cruising through.
When you're up there, dude, something's coming. 600 acres of forest behind my house.
Whoa.
So
God, that's so great.
that's
So
the
did
rough
that,
part.
so did that, when were you, where are you in your mental journey? Were you like,
It was
at what point did it kind of like click in, like, oh, you like, was there a sense like, I've done it, I've achieved it, I'm mentally in a good space now?
no, that's a daily reprieve. That's a daily thing.
That's a nonstop project.
Nonstop thing. I mean, up
That's
there,
just life.
I would wake up every morning and I would wake up every morning and walk. I would get the leash and the dog got so used to it, she'd be up too. So she saw me get up, she gets up and sits by the door and we would walk up these country hills.
Nice.
Every single morning I did that. I would walk and do at least 10, 20,000 steps.
Wow.
Oh, look who's here. Hi, Dawn. It's Tom Papa.
Hi, Tom Papa.
Hi, Dawn.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
My protein shake. Hi, how are you? So, but the one thing that I did that, I mean, this is coming out next Tuesday, so I didn't want to talk about it until I was on my podcast, and I didn't want to talk about it until now too, because I didn't, this last 3.5 months has been a year, 2 years in the planning, because I knew that something had to be done. I knew that I'm 50, I'm in my 50s and I'm older now. And I the weight thing and all that stuff, I didn't have it. I didn't have the ability to, when I was younger, I just, okay, I gained 30 pounds and I go to the gym and I'd knock it off in a month. I'd just kill it.
Yeah.
I was 350 pounds.
350?
350. I'm 5'8". And everybody carries weight differently. I carried mine in my stomach. And then what happens is it moves to your face and then it moves to your butt and then it gets to your legs. And fat takes over so slowly. It's like a glacier.
Right.
You don't know it's moving, but it's moving. And you adjust to it inch by inch, little.
Yeah. Right.
So you feel the same you felt the year before, the year before that. And people around you kind of don't see it either. Except it's when somebody hasn't seen you in a year and they come back to what the fuck happened to you.
Right.
Same thing with weight loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how just sinister food is and weight.
Yeah.
I knew that something had to be done. So my cigar bar, I'm a member of this Cigar Republic. It's all alpha males, plumbers and tours and, and there was I became friends with this guy, Arpan, and he wound up, he's a surgeon and he does a gastric sleeve. And I talked to him about it for years, up there, a couple of years. And in the last year and a half, I finally was like, there's a lot that goes into it. You can't just get it.
Yeah.
You have to lose weight. You have to work out, see a nutritionist, a dietitian, all this shit.
Right.
And I knew people that got it and just got it. Didn't do anything. Just got it. Bing.
Yeah.
I was like, but for some reason I was like, doing this work, I need to do this way, and I told them I want to do it. So I had to go and lose a certain amount of weight and get down to, I got down to 235.
And why do you have to lose weight before it? Is it so you're mentally you're mentally clocked in, or is it physical?
It's two things. You have to start changing the way you are. You have to start changing the way you eat. You have to start changing. You have to exercise. Exercise is the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
That has to be part of your life. And you have to start doing that before he won't do it. That's
good. Yeah.
And that's fucked me up a little bit. That's why it took 2 years, because I just couldn't, it's like I had to hit a bottom before I was ready to accept where I was at. And
was there a bottom? Was there an event?
Yeah, dude, it was, my knee was going and I couldn't, I mean, even like I would hear myself on podcasts.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't, I sleep apnea. I was, dying in my sleep. And then it was my son and my wife.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. I built this life out
Yeah.
of fucking ashes of abuse.
Right.
And here I am. My kid has a father that I always wanted. And
Yeah.
I'm going to take it away from him.
Right.
I'm going to do to him what was done to me.
Right.
And
Yeah, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything dialed in thoughtfully, except for this one thing.
except for my mental health,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and the key was I took care of the mental health first.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to make that decision because it's not an easy decision for people to make. And nobody knows this, Tom. Only if 5 people know what I'm telling you right now.
Oh wow.
I didn't tell anybody,
Because
because
I'm gonna put this up like other. Yeah, we don't. It's not like we have millions of listeners, but
no, I'm going to do it on my podcast tonight. No, I think
okay.
I'll get to that why I'm telling people, but a lot of people don't tell people, and I'm cool with that. I know a lot of people that that did it, and you'll never know.
Uh-huh.
And that's fine too. 100%.
Does it rhyme with Malin Quinn?
No, Colin Quinn. No, Colin only gets chubby. He never gets 350. He's never, you know what I mean? Believe
Yeah.
me, he's a
350
fat.
is a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight.
I was watching the NFL draft and they announced the weight
Yeah.
of the defensive line.
Uh-huh.
Bigger than all of them.
Wow. At
Or at
5'8".
At least at the same size as them.
Yeah.
Heavier than the heavyweight champion of the world. And in the UFC.
Jeez Louise.
I was heavy. I was super heavyweight. If I was to fight the UFC heavyweight, I would be considered a super heavyweight.
Wow.
It's heavier than Brock Lesnar.
So what is the process going to do for you? What
I did is when I did this, I knew I was going away with Louis, a European tour, and that's all walking. Like I walked 10,000, 20,000 steps a day. So I would wake up and just go by myself or with somebody else and walk.
Right.
And then I knew when I was coming back, I was going in for it, because you could die if you're on the table. It's very dangerous. It gets more dangerous the fatter you are.
Uh-huh.
MI has to be at a certain spot for them to do the surgery. It's very hard for them to do if you're too big. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you have to lose the weight. So it's not as hard on you. And I was still a little too heavy, to be honest with my certain Arpan Goyle, it was my friend, is so amazing. It's all robotic. He's doing it across the room, and he did it. They're in there like a construction team with these little things.
Right.
And he's holding stuff up. He's cutting stuff. And what the surgery is they take your stomach and make it into a banana.
Uh-huh.
And in your stomach, there's ghrelin cells. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And ghrelin cells are the cells that tell you you're hungry. And the bigger your stomach is, the more ghrelin cells you have. So why fat people are hungry is because these cells could be attributing that. So when they take that out, what else do they take the ghrelin cells out with it? Right. Now that could help you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now your stomach's smaller, but that doesn't mean anything because people make it big again. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, they go through it.
Well, it'll actually expand it. Your stomach will expand.
Right. Right.
But if you come out of this, and it was a hard one for me, man. I had my blood pressure spiked. I came out of surgery, dude. I thought I was dying.
Whoa.
And I talked to my surgeon later. I actually talked to him yesterday about it. He was like, I just want to let you know, I seemed very cool at that point, but I was nervous.
Really?
Yeah, because dude, I woke up, these fingers were numb. I couldn't feel them.
Jeez.
My heart rate's through the roof.
Right.
I'm in the hospital. I'm throwing up. I'm like, this is it. I'm like,
oh my God. Oh my God.
It all passed and I got better. Everything came back. Thank God.
How quickly?
A couple days.
But
I was scary. I was actually at the Joe List Louis premiere, the 4th of July movie, 2 days after my surgery.
Whoa.
And I'm just sitting there like this. You know what I mean?
Good movie. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, nice to see you.
I had to leave right after the movie. They had a big party I didn't get to be at, but I went home and but I literally started walking that day. 2 days after the day of my surgery, I walked around the hospital. The next day, every day after that, I walk, I move, and
Right.
or I mean, I could walk just down my driveway and back up, then down the street, back up, then around halfway around the block, then around the whole block.
Wow.
And then we knew we were going to the tiny house for 2 months. No, nobody. I had
Right.
to get away from all these people.
Yeah.
I couldn't live in the fucking the accolades.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't live in the hey, you look great. I don't want that.
Right.
Couldn't live in that because
Right.
that hits my addictive brain. That
Uh-huh.
happy button.
Uh-huh.
I had to get away and just be with people who I'm just dad. I'm just Bob. I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I would work out. I'd walk every fucking day. And then I started lifting weights as soon as I could lift weights. But it makes it so I can only have a little bit. I can only eat a little bit of food.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I looked at it this way. This was the deciding factor on it. I went to rehab 37 years ago for 14 months.
How many years ago?
14 years. And I went away for 14 months. And that's the only way I could have ever got sober is if I
Right.
left everything.
Yeah, get away
Right.
from that life.
I can't do that now. I have a family. I got to support. I can't just walk away from my family and so this was me. This is the way. I couldn't go to fat camp.
Right.
I had to be present here. But this is the way that I put a governor on me. I'm in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
I have to every day work on this.
Right.
Rehab, just like a drug addict will go to rehab, alcoholic go to rehab. I'm in rehab. This is allowing me that pause in life to reset everything and give me a little assistance.
Right. While you're working, while you're doing stuff, but you're in your retreat mindset.
Right.
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 So how much did you drop?
I've dropped, I was 335. I'm down to 265.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they don't remove fat. They just shrink this. And so then all the weight loss is on you.
All the weight loss is on me. So like what you have to do, like, so my arms, like I didn't want my arms flabby.
Uh-huh.
That,
Extra skin.
So you have to lift weights.
Right.
Which I love. I've been lifting weights since I was in juvie hall.
Yeah.
I was in the rubber rooms in fucking 6th, 7th grade, and we had a weight bench. We had a weight bench and snakes.
Right.
We do like a math problem, and then we just go lift for like a half hour. Then we play with a snake, and then we do some English, and we fucking go play kickball. So the weight, I love it. I'm back in. I feel strong.
Yeah.
And then the walking, because when you lose weight, it's like hire a trainer. Go to this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Walk. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I know.
That's it.
I
It's
know.
all you have to do is walk for a half hour and you have to lose weight.
Yeah. It's such a game. It's such a, I'm guilty of it too, where you're like, I've got to get some workout clothes. I've got to get to a gym. I've got to do this. It's like, you haven't worked out in so long. Just lay on the floor where you are and start doing push-ups and sit-ups. Just start that, because you think in your mind, like, you're still like an athlete. You're still ready to go. But really, just start doing push-ups and sit-ups.
And that's what defeats us. Most people overweight is no, you don't. All you have to do is walk.
Yeah.
Just walk around your block and then walk around it again and keep pushing yourself to go a little further, and then get 5-pound dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
I did resistant bands at the beginning. I just have a resistant band and I would curl it. I went on YouTube and I found, 20-minute resistant band bicep workout. And it's just a couple, just doing easy things. And I only did what I could do. And that's how it started with me. And so, now, I mean, we were up country and, Dawn was like, we had a kayak and you got to put it up and we have a shed up there and it's got to go up on top. And I just grabbed it, walked the hill, put it on the thing. And Dawn's like, did you do that by yourself? I'm like, I'm not that person anymore, Dawn.
Nice.
I can do shit, which sucked because she had me on the roof yesterday cutting trees down.
Right.
On that ladder, skinny boy, get the fuck up there. But yesterday, me and Max, we run, right? I always run with Max, like down the street when we go down the street, and
Yeah.
we'll go back to the house. And he's always beat me legitimately.
Uh-huh.
I can't, you know,
Yeah.
you can't do it, you know. And yesterday, I go, let's go. We ran, and I smoked him.
Nice.
And my body, I could feel my body
Yeah.
moving again the way it used to move.
What's amazing about this story too is how quickly it's like your body wants to be that. Your body wants to be itself again. Like you would think this is a years long project, and when you think like, oh, this is going to be, you're talking about months. You're talking about a few short months.
Yeah, but it does go away. Like this will, that will stop at some point.
Sure.
So the changing your life patterns, like I don't eat sugar anymore. I don't have these things.
Yeah.
I don't eat like crazy carbs. I have carbs, but I don't, in my meals, I don't put them on a big plate. I don't eat out of the container.
Right.
I get a bowl, and I'll put some chicken and vegetables and a potato in the bowl. Right. And I eat that. And then I wait. And I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right. Exactly.
I can eat whatever I want, dude.
Yeah.
I can have what at this point, I hit the point, like at the beginning, it's liquid and then certain things. But now I just met with my nutritionist. I can eat whatever I want. But I don't want to I want to eat healthy. Once you cleanse yourself of sugar, once you get rid of sugar.
Yeah.
Great podcast. Vinny Tortorich, the angriest trainer. No sugar, no grains. This guy, he's always in my head about no sugar, the grains and the sugar.
What's his name again?
Vinny Tortorich.
Vinny Tortorich.
Yeah, he's just a fucking great. He has a documentaries on YouTube. Look him up. The great documentary. Yeah. Sugar. It's all about corn syrup, cornstarch, all the poison they put in our food.
Amazing.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh, that was magical.
And he's in my mind all the time. With this stuff. So
yeah, Fortune was just filming something in Toronto, and she lost weight just being in Toronto. She was there for like 4 months, and she lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
And she said she wasn't even trying.
Yep.
And she really thinks it's just because they don't allow the poison in the food that we allow.
100%. I was in Europe a month before my surgery with Louis. I ate the best carbonara, the best cacio e pepe. We're in Rome. You don't think I'm eating cacio e pepe in Rome? Are you out of your mind? You don't think I'm going to the restaurant that Liz and Mateo Lane told me to go to? You're out of your mind. We ate. I had chicken skin with creme and caviar on it. I ate the best food. It was so beautiful too. It was so perfect because I ate the best food I've ever eaten in my life. I went on like a food tour.
Yeah.
I lost weight. I'm granted I was walking every day, but I still came back on the weight I was supposed to come back on. 5 pounds less.
Isn't it amazing?
It is true. But that's the one thing that's great now is like Dawn would say to me now, she's like, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
We can go wherever you want. I'm getting a piece of salmon, and I'm going to get a little vegetable or something. And I'll probably make it a little salad or something, and I'm out. So food is like, I would wake up, what's for breakfast? What do we do for lunch? What's for dinner? Even on the road by myself, you wake up early just to get that shitty breakfast at the hotel. I got to get it free. I got to stuff my face. I go back to my room at like 3 omelets, 5 sausage patties, and then let's go for lunch somewhere and find the best ramen place in Cleveland.
Right.
And then after food, let's go. Where are we going after the show? I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't have sex with girls. I'm going to get food somewhere. I'm finding a 24-hour Korean barbecue in the DC somewhere.
The worst.
I don't do that anymore. Like it's a
whole day of mistakes.
But it's also, it's like now I don't have to, it's such a freeing thing not to have to worry about food.
I know it really becomes this thing where it not every meal has to be an event, a celebration, a thing.
Such a fun American thing.
I know.
I have that joke in my act. It's like, if you're a heroin addict, it's so easy.
Right.
Because everybody will help you. If you're a food addict, it's like they don't celebrate holidays with heroin.
Right. Here's a cake for you. So what's that going to do to your act? Where are you at? Because you're transforming right now. You're in the middle of change.
Well, before this, luckily, I have a special coming out on Louis directed my special,
Mm-hmm.
and he produced it. And I toured with him. He was like, you don't have a special. I'm like, no, nobody would give me a special. Nobody wants to give me one. I'm just in that thing, whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
And he was like, I'm doing it. So I was like, you're the fucking man. So we put this whole special together, and it was, but he was like, I told him, I go, before this, I was doing a kind of one-man show. It was like funny Colin Quinn type of thing about food addiction. And I was working on that. But then the pandemic hit, blah, blah, blah. That fell apart. And I told him, he goes, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a theme. I want to, you have an hour of just killer? And I was like, I do. I have, because I was supposed to do a special 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got it. So he goes, do that. Just kill. I want just killer jokes, and we put I want you to do a killer club set.
Nice.
I want a club set
Hammer
special.
Yeah.
What you do. And I was basing it off of the Elvis's 68 comeback special. Visually, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And it was like, we got this creative, Coastal Creatives in St. Pete. Cause he's like, where do you want to do it? I go, I want to do it in Tampa. Cause Florida saved my life during the pandemic. Cause thank God they don't care about COVID. Cause they were, so I would go down there and I get to make money.
Yeah.
And my number one best friend, Mike Calta, was, he would pump the shows up, and he really saved my life.
Oh, that's great.
Look, let's do it there. We have this space. It's just empty space, and they'll let you make it whatever you want. So we kind of replicated the 68 special, but we wanted to make it like a kill box, like just a square stage off the ground, crowd right up on me, every camera, this crowd,
right,
shot, and just kill for an hour. We did it. We fucking did it. So it's coming out on the 8th of my birthday, October 8th, on his website. I'm very happy about it.
Oh, that's great.
But I have this other show that I stopped doing. And I have all this footage of me at the cellar and things, just big. So when you say special, I'm big.
Right, of course.
I'm fucking big. I'm 350 or 345 in that special. So we have this footage of me doing this. So I'm going back to that special. And I talk about, that's why it's important for me to let people know that I did get the surgery, because if I'm going to do a show on food addiction and talk about that on stage, what am I going to, either you're going to lie about it forever, or be out, and I have to talk about this.
No, there's no shame in that at all. I think that's great. I think it's inspiring. I mean, I think that you're going to touch a lot of people with this story.
Well, it was the last week I was at a show, and after the show, this couple came up. My fans, they're big guys, they're big people, like and came up to me, and this girl was like, "You look so good," because last time I was there, I was fat. I was huge.
Right.
She's like, "I'm so proud of you. That's awesome." She's like, "I just got the gastric sleeve," and I go, "It was the hardest decision you ever made, wasn't it?" She's like, "It was the hardest thing I ever made. I really, and I was like, I know. And I just grabbed her and hugged her.
Wow.
Like, I didn't tell her that I got it too. Like,
yeah. You weren't there yet.
I left and I was like, I can't not do this, because there's so many people like me. There's everybody out there.
Dude, everyone struggles.
That it's like, if they could know that all you have to do is walk. All you have to do is not eat sugar. All you have to do is not eat shitty grain food, like the happy shit. And this surgery is available that can give you an assist. You have to do the work, but it will give you an assist and pause your life for a second.
Yeah.
To help you out a little bit.
That's
I was
amazing.
like, I gotta let people know.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. This is so great. This is so great. And that, it's so funny, isn't it? Once you make these choices, and you can, like, positive things really start to happen. Yeah. The tiny house, the special,
Yep.
your health. Like these are major shifts.
Yeah.
And to come from the darkness of the pandemic of like, holy shit, I've got to do something. That little thing of I've got to do something. And now you're in the process of having done it. I mean, of course, it's going to be a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
Journey's not over.
Yeah.
But holy shit, look at those 3 giant pillars that have come out of this.
It's huge. And like, I have a joke in my act, you know, because my biggest fear with my kid was rides, you know,
Right.
going
Getting on a ride.
And I remember, you know, it was so embarrassing. You know, we were going on this roller coaster and the bar didn't clamp down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, fuck, you know, and Dawn had to go on, like the last time we went somewhere, she had to go on the rides with them, and taking photos. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You know, next summer, we're going to amusement park, baby.
So great.
We're going back to the ones we're going back to that one. We're going to Hershey Park. We're going to Tampa to Busch Garden. I'm going back and I'm getting on that fucking roller coaster. I can't wait to.
That's a big thing. I did a when I was in like high school, we went to Busch Gardens and I was too scared to go on the Loch Ness Monster. I was too scared to go on it. And my father and my daughter and my sister went on it, and I turned back on the line, and I ended up on a train with my mom.
Oh my God.
I literally, when I was in college, the same thing. I was like, I have to go back.
Yeah.
I have to go back.
You have to go back. It's so funny. Dude. I have to get back on that roller coaster because I remember the guy put the bar down and it went click. And I was like, okay, I'm good. He goes, we need 3 clicks, sir.
Oh,
Right, dude, I gotta click. Can we? He goes, look over at your son. I looked over at Max. It was 2 feet from the bar, and so if Max was going to be street pizza on a Buick in the parking lot if he pushed the button. That, you know, and you go to amusement parks now. It's so sad. They have a fat person test chair in front of most roller coasters.
They do.
It's so embarrassing.
I was going to make a joke about that. It's not the height thing. Like there should be. They do.
Hershey Park. You see it. It's just a chair. It's a replica of the roller coaster you're getting on. Chair. Fat people are supposed to get into it, and the line's right there. It's not in. It should be like a dressing room.
Yeah, it should be private. I mean?
It should be private. Fat people walking up, like looking around, like the wife going, "Just go." Well, you go first. No, well, you go. All right, I'll go. And then it's just the guy getting on and then them just getting off quickly. Fuck this, and then walking away.
Go and get a churro
or something, or make a fat roll and stop feeding us all the shit food at these fucking parks.
Yeah, leave us alone. Oh my God, this is so great, Bobby. Can you promise me that we will do this again and have a check-in of sorts?
Let's do it 6 months.
6 months.
6 months, we'll have a check-in. Hopefully I'll have a video of me on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so great.
Yeah.
Really,
brother.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing this too. I was, because I just ran into you and was like, hey, you lost weight. That's good. And, that's not why I asked you to do this. It was just to catch up and see you because I love you. But holy cow, it's a huge thing. And
I think it's important that I do it. I think it's important that I'm honest with it. And I mean, it's my business. It's fine if you don't, because people don't. But like I said, I think that I can maybe help a couple people, know that if I can fucking do it, you can do it. Now watch me grab my chest. There's a widowmaker going on right now. Right?
Stay alive at least until Tuesday when this comes out. You're the best, Bobby.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Papa.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
All right, kids, there you have it. Robert Kelly. Go look up his special. Go look everything up that he's ever done. You know what, dude? His podcast, make sure you give it a listen. Give it a thumbs up. Spread the bread love over to there. Go to tompapa.com. Look up all of my dates. You guys are the best. We'll see you soon.